All right, we're back for another video of what seems to be my favorite YouTuber, Legend of Winning, aka Low. He just uploaded a video a couple of days ago, and I have yet to review it, not review it, but like yet to view it, I should say. The title is LeBron is exposing the Lakers' biggest nightmare. Let's just hop into it.
20 games into the regular season, the Lakers have had a relatively slow start, which is certainly concerning for a team that has expectations to make a deep postseason run and, dare I even say, compete for a championship. And yet here we are this early on in the season, and they find themselves quickly at the bottom of the conference. With double-digit games in the loss column, an offense that has consistently been at the bottom of the barrel, and at its worst, it's been historically bad. And even though, yes, defensively the numbers may look a little bit more favorable, I don't think the Lakers are good on that side of the floor either. And if you are someone who's a bit hesitant to push a panic button, I believe the loss against the Indiana Pacers on Monday night is the perfect culmination of all of the concerns that many people have with this roster, as the Lakers blew a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter in dramatic fashion. Now, most of the problems that the Lakers face are easy to
I tried to stop it with the space bar, but it didn't stop. Um, Pushing the panic button this early in the season, I feel like after seeing what the Celtics did last season and how they started off, I think they started off a bottom team in the Eastern Conference until they hired head coach Ime Udoka. And he totally turned that team upside down, and they ended up making a finals run. So pressing the panic button 20 games into the season, it's a long season. It's a 80 plus game season. You have a play in, which so your team can be like bottom 7, 8, 9, 10th seed and still make a deeper run in the playoffs rather than a couple years ago where if you were outside of the 8th seed, you were just sent home. So you still have a chance for that 9th and 10th seed to make the playoffs. So I feel like pushing the panic button right now is a little too soon for the Los Angeles Lakers, especially since they have, like he said, one of the top 10 defenses in the NBA. They're just struggling right now offensively. They've been playing a lot better since Russ has come off the bench. LeBron has been playing a lot better recently, and they're starting to make Anthony Davis the number one scoring option on that team, which I feel like they should have been done. If you go back and look at one of my first videos I posted on this channel, I talked about how Anthony Davis should be that number one for the offense, but it seemed like he was scared to be number one because LeBron needs to get his touches. He wants to get his touches the same amount as he was a couple years ago. But LeBron is at that age now where those touches are hurting the team more than it's helping the team. So LeBron went down with the injury, and AD has just been flourishing. And now that LeBron's come back, Anthony Davis has solidified his role on the Los Angeles Lakers as that number one option. And they're actually playing really good right now. They just had a game against the Milwaukee Bucks. Anthony Davis put up 44 points, 10 rebounds, and a couple assists. Like, that's who you need to be that number one option on your team offensively for you guys to make not even a deep playoff run, but just to make an appearance in the playoffs. Anthony Davis has to be that number one and consistently be that number one.
And I'll go over them in the video. However, there is one massive problem with this team that hovers over this franchise like a black cloud, and yet it seems like no one is willing to address it. And even though it may come across a bit
LeBron's
taboo, I still
old.
think it's necessary to highlight this problem
He's
so the Lakers
old.
don't find themselves in a much bigger hole moving forward. But before I get too ahead of myself, let's go back to some of those more identifiable concerns. First, offensively, the Lakers have struggled mightily to put the ball in the basket in any consistent and effective way. And even though there are several contributing factors, the biggest one is easily the lack of three-point shooting on this team. Now, I know, I sound like a broken record, but it is true. In today's game, if your team struggles with the long ball, they are bound to be stagnant offensively. And the Lakers certainly fit the bill. Shooting slightly above 32% with a long ball not only makes them one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the NBA this year, but also makes them one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the past decade. And if that isn't enough, what's even more heartbreaking for this offense is how consistently the players on this team are missing three-pointers when they're left wide.
Anthony Davis should not be taking that shot. I don't know. Like, if we go back to it, like, why is Anthony? Look how deep back he is at the 3-point line. Russell Westbrook is a non-factor in the corner. LeBron should not be handling the ball like that. Russell Westbrook should be your primary ball handler, 80 in the post, and then have your shooters outside. LeBron has developed his 3-point shot enough, I believe, to be not a threat at the 3-point line, but the defense still has to close out on him at the 3-point line. Look how far Nurkic is away from Anthony Davis. Look how much space Russell Westbrook has nobody on him. They're playing 3-on-5 in this picture. Yes, this was earlier on in the season where their offensive woes was at their greatest. But just looking at this, you can easily tell what the problem is. Easily.
Consistently, the players on this team are missing 3-pointers when they're left wide open.
Look how open he is.
The Lakers are shooting
4-on-5.
miserable 33% on open 3-point shots. And for those who don't know, is when the
you got to make them. You just got to make them.
The shooter, and yet the Lakers are still missing those 3-pointers nearly 70% of the time. Now, of course, those are characteristic traits that nobody in the NBA would like to have, but it's even more
terrible shot
when the three most offensively influential players on the team are best utilized when they're getting to the basket.
Exactly.
LeBron, AD, and Russell Westbrook. Because of the lack of complementary style amongst these teammates, just running any type of offensive set becomes an extreme hassle. And even if a clean play is ran, it's still tough to finish because help is always just one step away. Of course, as time continues to progress, things will change. I don't expect LeBron to continue to shoot in the 20s from behind the arc. And to be fair to the Lakers, over the past couple of games, they've looked much better from the 3-ball because they used to be shooting sub 31% from deep. However,
sub 31
even with the improvements that we'll be seeing throughout the year, I do not believe that the Lakers will ever be a respectable 3-point shooting team because of the personnel. Of course, some of these things can be addressed through a Russell Westbrook trade potentially, but even then, there's a lot of things you could potentially give up defensively on that side of the floor if you go on that route, which brings us to the other side of the floor. And defensively, I understand that the numbers may say
Anthony Davis, defensive player of the year.
This team is good on that side of the floor either.
He's a contender.
The reason why I feel this way is because I genuinely,
and that's true. I don't feel like the team overall is a great defensive unit, but Anthony Davis carries a majority of that workload. And you just sprinkle in Patrick Beverley in there for his perimeter defense. But Anthony Davis is inside presence. I just feel like he's carrying this Los Angeles Lakers team to that 7th ranked defense in the NBA. It's nowhere near a team effort on the defensive end.
believe the weak schedule has inflated the defensive numbers so much so that many people have convinced themselves that this is a quality defensive team. However, when the Lakers are going up against a more well-balanced offensive-oriented team, such as the Utah Jazz, Golden State Warriors, and Sacramento Kings, they have absolutely no answer at all. And a huge reason for this is because they just don't have the personnel to do so. On the perimeter, the lack of
Dennis
size
Schroeder.
continues to hurt the Lakers.
I forgot he was playing for them.
The lack of foot speed to be a quality point of attack defender also isn't there either.
That's a
the Pacers
bucket.
thrived on this all game long, as even slower-footed players like Buddy Hield were able to get deep into the paint with.
That's just bad defense.
And then in the paint, outside of Anthony Davis, there really isn't any
THT.
quality interior defenders either. Speaking of AD, he does a really great job of covering up a lot of the blemishes from the Lakers on this side of the floor, but there's only so much that he can do, especially
Definitely.
when he has his hands full.
Boy, that lining is crisp. Hold up.
So much that he can do.
Oh, that's not basketball, really. But boy, this barber hit them boxes in them corners. Yeah. Brian never seen a lining so precise. It looks whatever. That's not important.
More offensively talented big men. Again,
That can't be natural. That's a
trying to defend
damn, what's that nigga name?
Anytime that he was trying to sit.
Dang. Jalen Rose. That's a Jalen Rose liner right there. Took a minute, but I got it.
Punished him because of it. Similar things also occurred against the Golden State Warriors and Utah Jazz as well. So this has been a common theme throughout the season. And as great as Anthony Davis has been, he just can't cover up everything. Because of the high turnover with the roster, the lack of continuity and chemistry is very prevalent with his team. The lack of guidance and communication on how the team is supposed to defend screens was exploited routinely from the Pacers all fourth quarter long, and the non-existent communication continued to hurt this team, especially in transition, as the Lakers continue to leave.
That's just bad.
During fast breaks.
That's just
but
bad.
The problem with the Lakers early on this season is that LeBron just hasn't been LeBron. The counting stats are there, but the accuracy and efficiency is still missing. The lack of explosiveness and the inability to manipulate opposing teams' defenses is unbearably obvious. And even as James got older, he was still a very sound and smart defender, but the level of execution that is needed from him on that side of the floor has been absent as well. This was on display all fourth quarter long against the Pacers when LeBron hijacked the offense through several possessions, slowed down the
And that
pace,
can't
and
happen.
allowed the Pacers to set up their defense
That
against
can't
a team
happen.
that doesn't have that much floor spacing at all, which basically made the entire possession a throwaway and quick, easy points for the Pacers on the other side of the floor. Heck, even if you look at the last possession of the game, LeBron is just aimlessly hanging around the paint, knowing that the Pacers need a three-pointer to win the game. Now, I'm pretty sure many people believe that the criticism that I am leveraging towards LeBron is unfair, and honestly, I agree. LeBron is 38 years old in year 20 and has clocked in north of 50,000 regular season minutes.
Whew.
At this stage of his career,
But does that mean just because he's 38, does that mean he's void of criticism? I don't think that should be the case. We know he's 38. We know he's a great player. We know he's top whatever of all time. But that doesn't mean that you can't criticize. Like Kobe was getting criticized towards the end of his career, and he came off of an Achilles injury in his late 30s. Like people are going to criticize you if you play bad. Your age and your legacy should not be, oh, well, he was great for 19 of his 20 years. Like, yeah, okay, if we're talking all time, yes, he was great 19 of his 20 years. He is an all time player. He's top whatever of all time. But for that 20th year, we are in that 20th season right now. And if he's playing bad, you're going to talk about him playing bad. I don't care if he's blah, blah, blah years old. If he is this old and he voids criticism, he should have retired. And I don't know if that's what Lowe's saying. I don't know if he's saying because I don't feel like he's being too hard on him. Everything he's saying is factual. LeBron, his efficiency has went down. He has never been a great defender, but this year is really showing the lack of defense that he can provide to a team. So it's like he's not saying anything wrong, but I just feel like people have that it's year 20 type of mentality. When he does something great, oh, it's his 20th season. Who else you know that was doing this in year 20? Blah, blah, blah. But as soon as he starts to play like this, it's like, come on now. What did you expect? This is his 20th season. He can't be great forever. So it's like you can't play both sides of the fence. You're either on one side or you're on the other. So that's my take on it.
The expectations to go out there and perform as a top 5 to 7 player on a night-to-night basis is unreasonable. And I would go as far as to say someone at his age with the amount of miles that he's put on his body, the performances that he is putting up on a night-to-night basis are still really good.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's not good enough for the Lakers. And that is the true problem of the Los Angeles Lakers. Look, this is not a video of me trying to talk down on one.
All right. That's going to wrap it up. He has 4 more minutes, but I feel like he's done talking about the meat and potatoes. I feel like he's done talking about. But yeah, like I said, the Lakers. I feel like it's too early to press the panic button. Still got 60 games left in the season. They can turn it around. They just got to go through AD. They have to go through AD. I feel like at this point, you trade Russell Westbrook for whatever you can get, even if it's you got to get some 3-point shooting. You got to get some floor spacing. So Anthony Davis can be able to work in that post. LeBron can be able to dribble, penetrate again. And I feel like that's a big reason why LeBron is not looking like LeBron, because I feel like most of his shots that he's taken is from the mid-range to the 3-point ball, which hasn't really been his game. Like I know I said earlier, he's improved immensely on his 3-point shot, but it's nowhere to the point where he should be taking 8+ threes per. They just or if you don't want to trade Russell Westbrook, if you want to just say forget it and blow the whole team up, that's fine too, because you guys don't have picks. You guys don't have any picks, so you can't just be losing to lose. It's a lose-lose situation for you guys right now. Either you stick with this team and just miss the playoffs and you don't have a pick, so you just got to rock with this team until everybody retires, or you blow the team up, get some picks back, and be bad for the next couple of years while you rebuild your team. I'm not a big fan of the full reset. I've never been a fan of a team completely tanking and rebuilding that way. But if that's what you have to do, then that's what you have to do. But that's my 2 cents on the video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, feel free to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and share. And also, if you have any video ideas or video that you want me to react to and watch, drop them down below in the comment section and I'll react to them for you. Peace out.